So in last class, we discussed about OOPS concept about encapsulation. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about polymorphism concept. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to create a package Java underscore polymorphism. Okay, what is meant by polymorphism? Poly means many, morphism means multiple types. Okay, so we can can we write a same method multiple times in a class? A same method can we write? If I will write, it will show as duplicate already exist and it will show an exception. Okay, this method name already contains, but by using polymorphism concept, we can able to write a same method name multiple times within the same class. Okay, let's see that part. So first I'm going to create a class. I'm going to create a class, Java class, employee class. So I'm creating a method public static void main. Right. So this class contains by default main method. So I want to write a method. I want to write a method, search employee method I want to write. Okay. So public void search employee. Okay. 1 second. Okay. I want to write a method name as public void search employee. Okay. So, and integer employee ID. And I can write throws exception. Okay. Guys, can everyone please go on mute? Okay. So I'm writing throws exception. So like this, we can write a method name, correct? So a class can contain some non-static method I have written. So can I write the same method name one more time? No, it won't allow. Okay. So it is showing with that name already exist. See, rename the method search employee. So it's asking, it's prompting, it's a duplicate method name. You can rename it. Okay, so polymorphism means writing a same method multiple times within the class. Okay, so I'm not changing method name, but I'm going to add one more input argument. Okay, string employee status. Employee status. Okay, so like this, if a class, so like this, I can write one more method with different input arguments. So like this also. So employee status and string employee name. Okay, so like this, I have written 3 method names. Okay, so I want to write string system.out.println employee ID. And I want to print employee ID. Employee ID is something like that. So I want to print this employee ID. And I want to print this one and employee status. Printing employee status. And here employee name. right? So this class can contain search employee method having search employee method names as 3 times, but each method contains different input arguments. Okay, like that it can be allowed. So this concept we can call it as a, one second, polymorphism, nothing but we can call it as a compile time polymorphism. So one second. So in polymorphism, we are having two types of polymorphisms. One is compile time polymorphism. Second one is runtime polymorphism. Okay, so compile time polymorphism also we can call it as a method overloading. This concept we can call it as a method overloading, and this concept we can call it as a method overriding. Okay, so same compile time polymorphism, people will also call it as a static binding. Okay, and sometimes runtime polymorphism, people will call it as a dynamic binding. So static binding or dynamic binding. So with these names, people will ask questions. Can you please explain method overloading? Can you please explain compile time polymorphism? Or can you please explain what is meant by static binding? Okay, so these questions they will ask. Okay, this is called dynamic binding. Okay, right. So polymorphism means poly, multiple times. Morphism means multiple types. Okay, a same method we can write in multiple ways. Okay, so this, so if anybody will ask, can you please explain method overloading concept? Means writing a same method name multiple times within the same class with the different input arguments is known as method overloading. Suppose I want to call, I want to invoke this method. So search employee and employee ID is some 1012. So this is the employee ID I want to invoke. Okay, so I want to create an object because these are non-static methods. So employee E1 is equal to new employee of. And E1 dot search employee. Okay. Okay, so employee even is okay, add throws declaration. So it's asking throws exception. So employee even is equal to new employee and even dot search employee. Suppose if I want to call other method, I can call employee ID and employee status. Employee status is second one is string argument. I can call full-time employee. Okay, and if I want to call another method, I can call employee and employee name. Okay, so like this. Okay, so like this, you can write a same method name with the different input arguments. This concept we can call it as a compile time polymorphism or method overloading or static binding. Okay, so people will ask in the interview questions, what is mean by polymorphism? Poly means multiple times. So if anybody will ask you, we can write a same method name multiple times with the different input arguments within the same class is known as method overloading. Okay, nothing but compile time polymorphism. And where you have used in your projects, people will ask this question. Okay, so whenever you are creating search nationalities, search employees or search jobs, okay, there might be a chance you have to write a same method name with different input arguments. You might have to search a functionality on the search center application. You have to write with the different input arguments. So based on the criteria you want to choose, you will call appropriate method. So in such situations, we had used method overloading concept. Search customer, customer ID, customer name, customer location, customer country. So that method contains 4 input arguments. Okay, and I want to know based on the customer city who are the list of customers are available. So I have to develop a method name with the different input arguments. I want to find out exact customer, then I have to write employee name as well, so that corresponding set of driver instructions can be executed from that method and your program will be executed. Understood everyone? So this concept we can call it as a method overloading concept. Okay, let me run this program. See, first one, employee ID. So this is got executed and this line got it. And employee 1012. So this is got executed. And employee 1012 and full name. So third method got executed. So based on the input arguments, it's got executed corresponding method. Okay. So here in we are having data types. There are different data types are there. So integer a is equal to 10 means that is a numerical value. So suppose if I will declare float a is equal to 10.50, then we can declare such data types as by using float variable. If you want to define decimals, so we can declare like this. Suppose float a is equal to 10.50. So this value we can declare it as a float. One second. Okay, we have to declare this value as like this. Okay, suppose if I want to declare this, so I have given float value like this. Okay, suppose if I want to give the value like this 10.50. Okay, so I'm giving like this. One second. No, it is showing. One second. Change method set into integer to double. Okay. Okay, so double D and float F. Okay. Okay, now, now let's see. Employee float ID is. Okay, can I write integer method also? Employee integer ID is. Employee double ID is. So now I want to know. So while executing this method, which of the method will be executed? I want to know. Okay, just a minute. So employee double ID has been executed. Okay, double means if you want to declare highest digit values, obviously the control it will take to highest value only. So integer ranges you can declare variables up to 32,000. Okay, and float value you can declare it up to 65,000. Double means it's almost it's a big decimal numbers and it can accept. So that's why it is taking this one. Okay, so you can write a same method with the different data types also. Okay, but obviously it will take the highest data type only it will take. Got the point? So just I want to tell some variation point only. That's it. I have written. Okay. So simply method overload. So that is the point people will ask, and if they will go to if they will ask us, if they want to stress some questions on method overloading, they will ask you these kind of questions. Okay. Right. So this is known as method overloading. So simply what we can say, if anybody will ask, method overloading means if a class can contains, okay, a same method name presents multiple times within the same class, that concept we can call it as a method overloading. Okay, a class can contain a same method name multiple times with the different input arguments. That is the main point. Okay, that concept called it as method overloading. So now I am going to explain about method overriding concept. Okay. I'm going to create a class A. Okay. Before discussing about method overriding concept, I want to tell you how many types of classes are available in Java. Okay, there are in Java, there are three types of classes are available. One is we can call it as a standard class, or we can call it as a concrete class. Concrete class. Second one, abstract class. Third one, we cannot call it as a class, but we can call it as an interface. So these are the three types of classes are available in Java. So far, whatever you are creating that class, we can call it as a concrete class or standard class. Why we are calling as a concrete class or standard class, the definition I will tell you. So first I'm going to explain about abstract class. Okay. So how to create an abstract class? So whatever class by default you are going and creating the class, that class we can call it as a concrete class. So now I have created a concrete class here. So now I am going to create an abstract class. So I have created a, and to create an abstract class, you need to select this keyword. Okay. And if you want to select main method, you can select it, but I'm not selecting. So an abstract class can contains public static void method can be allowed. Okay. But I'm not selecting, just I'm clicking an abstract class. See here, the keyword it contains abstract. If a class can contains a keyword name as abstract, so that class we can call it as an abstract class. Okay, if the class doesn't contains abstract keyword, that class we cannot call it as a abstract class. Simply we can call it as a class, Java class file. Okay, so an abstract class can contain some abstract methods. So what is mean by abstract method? So now let's see. Public void. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this class can contains abstract methods, and this class also contains one non-abstract method as welcome method. So one second. So in Java, basically the methods can be classified into two types. One is abstract method and one is non-abstract method. Non-abstract method means that method contains starting curling bracket and ending curling bracket. So that means if a method has been coding, if you are going to write, okay, we can write starting curling bracket and ending curling bracket. So that method we can call it as a non-abstract method. Okay, and a abstract method means a method which has no implementation. Okay, just you have declared that method, but there is no method implementation. Okay, such method we can call it as an abstract method. Sir, if you are not writing any of the code, what is the point using this abstract methods? Okay, so how these abstract methods, where suppose if you are not writing and implementing curling brackets, then what is the use of these methods? Okay, so now let's see where these methods going to be implemented. Okay, that means what is an abstract class means an abstract class which contains some abstract methods and some non-abstract methods. Okay, so non-abstract methods, it's not mandatory to write. Okay, so in an abstract class, at least it should contain one abstract method. So that is the mandatory, it's required. Okay, suppose, so I want to implement these methods. Okay, but we cannot implement the abstract methods in the same class. So we cannot go and implement those methods in the same class. Okay, abstract methods means just we can declare those methods, that's it. Okay, and these methods I am going to implement in another class. Okay, so how I am going to implement abstract methods now, let's see. So I'm going to create another class name as B, and I'm going to select public static void main. So the B class contains some main method. Okay, so now I want to implement, because the class A contains some abstract methods and class B I want to implement in class. So always the abstract methods will be implemented in the subclass only, not in the current class. Okay, so if I want to implement those abstract methods in another class, you need to write extends A. Okay, so you have to write extends and A. So what is mean by extends means whatever methods A class contains, all those methods should be accessible in B class as well. That is the meaning. Okay, the B class can able to access all the methods of A. See here, it is showing some error. I'm keeping the mouse over here and I'm clicking on add unimplemented methods. Okay, so I'm clicking on add unimplemented methods. See those lines, those methods, those abstract methods, code has been implemented. Code has been implemented in the so B class we can call it as a child class. A class we can call it as a parent class. So the B class is implementing the methods of A. So whenever I am clicking on add unimplemented methods, those code has been generated, and with the @ override, all these methods has been populated. So now I want to write system dot out dot println hi, I am hello method. Okay, and here I am going to write hi method. Okay, so that means I have written some set of driver instructions or set of lines of code I have implemented in my abstract methods in the child class. Okay, so now I want to access those methods. So class A contains what are the abstract methods? Hello and hi, and it also contains welcome method. So here I want to write welcome. So that means an abstract class contains both abstract methods and non-abstract methods, and abstract methods was implemented in the child class. Whenever you are writing extends A, B will show you, it will prompt you to click on add unimplement methods, and we have written all the lines of code in class. Now I want to call the methods of class A. Okay, so A1 is equal to new A of A1 is equal to new A of. So you cannot able to create an object for an abstract class. Understood? So because an abstract class can contain abstract methods. If a class or interface which contains abstract methods, okay, you cannot write like this. Only for the concrete class only you can create an object. Okay, concrete class means a class which doesn't contains any abstract methods. Okay, so ante ikkada an abstract abstract class, it contains some abstract methods. So this is the syntax, it won't allow you. So cannot initiate the type A. So it is giving like this. So in the interviews, people will ask a question, can I create an object for an abstract class? Say yes or no. No, it won't create. It is showing you cannot able to create. Okay, so now A class methods was implemented in which class? In B. So in the right hand side you have to write B. That's why, so this we can call it as a reference variable or reference object. Okay, So this is called as a reference variable. Terminology wise, we can call it as a reference variable. Okay, so that means the a1 reference variable could able to access the methods of b. So I can write a1 dot welcome method. So because the reference variable, so you can able to, you through reference variable only you can able to call the methods. Okay, now a1 dot hello, a1 dot hi. Understood? Okay, so a1 dot hi, a1 dot hello. So like that only you can able to call the methods. Okay, so because a class methods has been implemented in b class, okay, that's why you need, so wherever the methods has been implemented from that class, we are telling reference from that class, okay, to refer those methods. So now let me go and execute b class now, run as Java application. So welcome to Selenium, hello method and hi method. So that means hello and hi methods was implemented from these classes. Okay, so that means, one second. Okay, it won't allow, one second. So here what is okay, this concept we can call it as a method overriding. Okay, so method overriding means okay, okay, suppose if I'm not writing, okay, suppose if I am not writing and I'm creating an object b, b1 is equal to new b of, and b1 dot, okay, I'm removing this one as well, and b1 dot and b1 dot. So as per this class, okay, b is a normal class, so it's a concrete class which contains method names as hello and hi methods. Okay, hello and hi methods are available here. Okay, and I am not extending any of the class now. Okay, so the b method for the b class, I am creating an object b1 is equal to new b of, and b1 dot hello method, it's executing from b class. Okay, suppose I want, so this is the method, this is the same methods, these are the same methods are available in class A, and those are the same methods are also available in class B as well. Okay, so now I want, if I want to implement these methods of class A into class B, so right now my methods are executing from class B, right? Okay, so suppose if I will write extends A, what will happen now? See, extends, extends A means, okay, so one second, so extends A means I have written, because these A methods already implemented here, so that's why system is not presenting. But whenever I will write like this for the class A, I want to access my reference through a reference variable, I want to access those methods. A1 is equal to new b of, so here it is showing, okay, A1, right? So here it is showing, okay, so this, so I am calling these methods with respect to A1. Okay, so that means those methods are executing from with respect to A class. Okay, it's not being executed with respect to B. Okay, so this concept we can call it as a overriding concept. Okay, so what is overriding means? What is overriding means? A class can contains a same methods is present in parent and child classes. Okay, a same method. Hello and hi methods are available in class A and class B. Okay, but whenever I want to implement those methods in the subclass by using extends A, I can override the base class methods. Parent I can override, so I can override and I can, so through reference variable we can able to call the required methods. So this concept we can call it as a method overriding. Understood everyone? Okay, I will tell you one more example here. Okay, so simply whenever you are creating reference variable and calling the methods, so that concept we can call it as a overriding. Okay, one second. See, now it is showing add unimplemented methods. See, automatically at the rate override. Okay, it's adding. Okay, you can, you that means uh, that means uh, that means its parent class methods are being overriding by class B. Okay, I will show you that example, you will come to.
తెస్తా క్లాస్ వింటున్నా నెట్ లేదు ఫోన్.
Hello, can you please go on mute again? So I'm going to create a class C, another fresh class.
So is it this concept same as inheritance, sir?
No, inheritance is different, this one is different, I will tell you.
Oh.
A normal class does contains abstract methods. If anybody will ask what we can say, no, we cannot write abstract methods in a standard class. If you want to write an abstract methods, you have to write abstract keyword. Okay, so now class C we can call it as a abstract class. Okay, and okay, now I'm not writing abstract one, so just I'm implementing these methods here itself. So I'm writing norm. Okay, I should not use abstract method. Huh? అదే ఇప్పుడు ఒకసారి చెప్తాను, 1 second. So class C contains some non-abstract methods. Okay, hello. Hello from class C. Hi from class C. So class C can contains these methods. Okay, and now I am going to create one more class, class D. And I'm going to write the same methods. So here I'm writing the same methods, but hello from class D and hello from class, hi from class D. Okay, now I want to create an object for class. Okay, class C. C1 is equal to new C of. So that means C1 dot hello and C1 dot hi. So what is the lines of code it will be executed now? Hello from class D or hello from hi from
Hello
class D?
from class C.
Hello from
Class C.
class C will be printed because I have created an object for class C. Okay, let's go and run this program. Yeah. ఇంకా నేను అక్కడ దాకా రాలా. Okay, so that means class C1 is equal to new class C of. So that means these methods are executing with respect to class C only. Okay, suppose if I will write class D like this. Okay, so the interviewer will ask a question. Can I write like this? They will ask you. Okay, and it is asking type mismatch cannot convert from D to C. So change method C1 to D. So it is not, so it is asking you can create an object for the current class. Okay, and you can able to access it. So that is what it is asking. So can I write like this? They will ask you. Understood? C class methods are implementing in D class, but actually we are not implemented anything. Okay, C class methods are not implemented in class D here. So in this case we cannot able to write it. Okay, but if I want to write DC1 is equal to new D of. So if I will write, if I will execute this program, what lines of code it will be executed?
Hello from class D and hi
Hello
from
from
class
class D and hi from class D will be executed because these methods are referring from class D. Okay, so these points are everyone is clear. Okay, now I am going to write extends C. Okay, I have written extend C. So now let me tell. Okay, C1 is equal to new D of. Okay, C1 is equal to new D of. So now you can tell me. So what lines of code it will be printed?
Hello from class C
Hello from
and hi
class C.
from class C.
Okay, hello from
Class C.
hello from class C. Okay, but actually wherever the methods has been implemented from that class, it will be executed here. Okay, now let's run this program. Which one is executed? Class D, it's executed. Okay, let us assume these methods are not there. Okay, right now those methods are not there. So if I will execute this program, which methods lines of code it is executing?
The previous
Class
class
A.
C.
Okay, it's executing from base class. I mean to say parent class. Okay, but if the same methods are implemented here, okay, so right now which methods are executing? Class D, it's executing. That means we can call it as a overriding or not. So instead of executing parent, it's executing from the child class. That means, okay, so this concept we can call it as a overriding. Okay, so whenever you are creating object like this, so it is overriding. Okay, so instead of executing parent class methods, okay, the child class object, it is over